Hello, friends. Time management. Managing one's time is not a very easy task. It requires a lot of planning on our part. So, time is very, very precious. It is often said, time and tide waits for none. Time and money. Sometimes the question arises that if I have time, I don't have money. If I have money, I don't have time. So, we need to decide which one is more important to save the time or to save the money, to arrange for the money. So, under these circumstances, I strongly believe that time is more important because if you lose out money, there are many people whose money gets stolen, but they can again earn money. But if time is lost once, it is lost forever. Throughout the world, right now, people are struggling to manage their time, to balance their time rather. Sometimes it's a big challenge to maintain a balance between the working hours and the me time or the family time, right? So, under these circumstances, we need to remember certain things so that we can manage our time in a better manner. For example, there is something called urgent and something called important. So what is urgent and what is important? Every moment, like every day, we have a plan. We make to-do list that today I'm going to do this thing, today I'm going to do that thing. But out of that list, some things are there which are very, very important, which without which we cannot think of completing the day. For example, suppose you are going to appear for an exam and today is the last date of the form fill up. So if you wish also, tomorrow you cannot fill up the form because the time will not be there. So this is something is called urgent, right? And maybe completing your one chapter of your book is very important, but that is not that much urgent. And watching the next episode of the TV serial or gossiping with your cousin or friend can be little less important compared to all this, right? So something which is urgent, something which is important, and something which is less important. This way we should categorize our work so that we can overcome this difficulty of selecting which work to do and which work not to do. So this way, if we manage our time, it is much more easier for us to manage. Moreover, particularly for the students, like it is very important to manage time. Sometimes it is found that they do late night studies, or sometimes it is found that they wake up early in the morning and they complete their studies. See, all of us, we are having only 24 hours. None of us, like although science has advanced a lot, but none of us can get 25 hours in a day. So within these 24 hours, we need to complete our works. Under any circumstances, we need to complete our works within these 24 hours. So planning plays a very, very important role. For example, when we go to school, we maintain a particular routine. Like schools maintain a schedule not only for their regular class but also for exam, for each and every aspect, they maintain a schedule. Now, in our case, if we also maintain a schedule, it becomes much more easier for us to complete a task, right? So, probably some of us plan that I am going to study history today, I am going to study physics today, I am going to study chemistry today, and all this. But only planning that much is not sufficient. We need to also plan like which chapter of physics maybe, or from which page to which page we are studying. That is much more important, right? Because and like the thing is that if we don't plan that, that means our plan is not specific. So only planning will not do. Our plan has to be specific and quantifiable. If we can make this kind of specific and quantifiable plan, then we can proceed with our studies. It is same for any work. Sometimes we find that our project work is pending. So if we do a little bit of the work on a regular basis, it becomes much more easier. Suppose you have 1 month in hand. So every day if you do a little bit of that work, it becomes much more easier. Those who are working, they have a lot of pressure during the month end before the meeting. So like if they do little bit of work throughout the month, it becomes very easy. Similarly, those students who submit their project, if they do little bit of the project instead of keeping it for the 11th hour, it becomes much more easier for them. Similarly, if we need to study 4 chapters, if we do it little bit of that part regular basis, it becomes much more easier. So if you plan your activities in proper manner, then it becomes much more easier. The great poet Shelley has told one very important aspect he has highlighted. That is, sometimes we survive in the past tense, sometimes we survive in the future tense. We don't survive like a bird who survive in the present tense. So if you survive in the present tense like a bird, if you start thinking what I am going to achieve today, it is much more easier for you to manage your time, right? Like today is in your hand only, but you have never seen tomorrow, and you can never correct or rectify your yesterday. That is over, that is done, right? So today is in your hand. Every moment of today you should plan properly and execute your pending works, so that at the end of the day you remain satisfied that today I have achieved a lot, right? So with this notion, we want to conclude this discussion that we if we plan our activities in a proper manner, probably we can achieve little more. Okay, the successful people, those who achieve success, they don't do different things, they do things differently. So if we also start doing things differently, it becomes much more easier for us to cope up with the changing situation. And to if we can manage our time properly, we will be much more successful in whatever we do. Hope you have enjoyed this discussion. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and share and like these videos if you want to receive this kind of videos on a regular basis. Thank you so much for your undivided attention.